Hi everybody, welcome back to Day Trip Vintage Company. This is Julie, and today I'm sharing this monthly journal that I created, and we will be finishing up the last page together. Before we look on the inside and we talk about its different uses, let's go over the outside of the journal. So I created the cover on a heavyweight cardboard type chipboard. I believe I used the back of a paper pad is what I used. And then I just created a simple master board on the top of that. I just collaged various papers, vintage papers, some reproduction papers. And then on the front here, I used some Tim Holtz die cut. Mine is just covered in a scrap of fabric, and I did a very simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch on that. Let's look at the back. Again, the back is also collaged in coordinating papers. I even used a little bit of Edith Holden in here. I'm hoarding that and using it sparingly, but I thought that would be a fun place to use it. And I even have a little bit of Edith Holden on the front. If you watched my Dollar Tree haul, you will see that I picked up these dot fasteners, and specifically I wanted them to create a closure for this journal. So I was really happy to find those. And specifically I wanted them to create a closure for this journal. So I was really happy to find those. I wanted something that would withstand time. And so I thought creating a closure just out a piece of this sort of twill ribbon would hold up well, and then have this little hook and loop dot fasteners. And I also put a bit of, let's see, where is it? I also put a bit of this fray check on the ends also, so that it would be a little bit more sturdy. So let's look at the inside. So I've created this to be a monthly journal with pockets for each month of the year. And I feel like a journal like this has lots of uses. It can be used to plan out goals from a personal or business perspective. I created this one to keep track of goals for my Etsy shop, but I also made it very neutral so that if I can change its uses as my needs or focus changes. So again, very neutral. Let's look on the inside cover. I just did a very simple pocket here with a simple collage, and you can stick whatever you want inside. I just have a sweet little journaling card that I created, and I think it's fun just to have, but you could keep business cards in here. You could, keep whatever you are going to use the journal for. I have a little lead page here that's just a piece of coffee stained papers. And then the internal pockets are made from heavyweight cardstock. On each of them, I just put a pocket, and then I designed it very neutral to hold index cards so that I can use it year after year, and I can change up its uses. So again, very, very neutral. And my thought with the index cards, I'm going to grab this here, is that I could take the index cards out on a monthly basis. I can write notes, whatever it is I'm keeping track of. And I love using these little spiky flower frogs to display. I can put it on my desk. I can put it in our kitchen to keep track of things, whatever I will be using it for. And these can be, you can keep multiples in here. You can throw them away as you start the new year. And let's look at each of the pages. So I just did a very simple collage. This is a really great craft to use up scraps. This is sort of a lightweight double-sided cardstock that I had in my stash. So it was a great way to use up these supplies. Just so you have a measurement, it is 6 inches tall and 4 inches wide. And we'll just flip through the pages here. So we have January, February, March, and I just used postage stamps, little bits of vintage paper, some fussy cuts out of printables, and some were out of and lots of botanicals, mushrooms, birds. I tried to stay with that theme. And then here in the middle, you can see where I just did a simple bow, a simple tie with the twine that I used for the 3-hole stitch. And I used some distress inks. I will show you the colors that I use for that. So we have some more flowers and butterflies, mushrooms, birds, and then that brings us to the last page. So let's complete December together. And then I have one last kind of end page here, the other side of that coffee stain, and another pocket here where I can put a journaling card or whatever I choose. Okay, so let's get started. For the label here, I wanted to share these. These are great. I haven't used these or shown these in any of my journal making. I've used these so many times over the years for incorporating into my assemblages, and I was kind of excited to use these here in one of my junk journals. I thought it was a perfect project for that. So these are these clickable alphabet stamps, and they're great because they click together and you can really get really great alignment with your letter stamping or your word stamps. And I have them in several different sizes. I have smaller fonts here and larger, and I'll link those below in case you guys are interested, and I bought those off of Amazon. So let's work on our label first. This is, we are going to be stamping December. Now the stamp is a little bit limited in the number of letters. I only have 2 E's, so we're gonna do like a little bit of a partial stamp. And what I love to use to make my labels are these end pieces or top pieces to vintage book pages. I think they have a really great feel. And we will be using Distress ink in the color Chipped Sapphire for the label itself. Kind of get that aligned there. Oops, hopefully I'm on straight, pretty close. We will call that good. We will call that good. I'll just come in and do a really quick fussy cut. Like that. Go. Let's get rid of a little bit more white. We will come back and use some distress inks on the edges, but just wanted to get as much white off the edge. And then let's stamp the word December. And let me decide here. So on some of the pages, I aligned the month to the left, and I think some I did to the right. I think for this one, let's align it to the right, which actually means I need to put my stamp here in a different order because we only have, let's see, how much can we get? Because we need a, I think we can do this much. Let's see how successful we are going to be. DECEMBER. Hopefully that is correct. And I'm going to use archival ink in jet black. This is my favorite go-to for black ink and doing stamping. Okay, let's see here how easy I can align this. Looks pretty good. There we go. Might not end up being too super straight, but we will do the best that we can. Now we need DEC. DEC. It will be a little bit wonky, but that's okay. That is really okay. That's very wonky, but I'm using it. I am using it. Gives it a little bit more character. Okay, so here is our DEC. And then we know we need to do a little bit of collage, some behind and some in back. So let's go ahead, let's ink that up and then kind of make our way through the other elements. And I just grabbed a bunch of things out and we'll see what we like as we move forward. Okay, so there's that. And I thought I wanted to use a mushroom. I've used a mushroom a couple places in the journal. So I did a printable from this really great antique book plate or illustration that I found online. And I also wanted to say, I will mention it on Thursday too on Vintage Craft and Chat, but I updated my link tree recently. Link tree is up at the top of the description here on my YouTube page. And I had a kind of robust working Pinterest page for my other business, Pearly Girl, but I didn't really have a good one for Vintage Craft and Chat. So I did a lot of work on it the other day. I created folders and kind of, I guess, fluffed it out. I love using that word, fluffed it out. And I also created a folder for printables. So any printables, free printables that I find on Pinterest, I am trying to, going forward, adding those into that folder so that I can refer back to them. And I believe this one is in there. If it isn't, I will link this one in because these are great. These are great for fussy cutting. So I know we want to use a mushroom. And these are some of the other elements that I just sort of pulled out that we can play around with a little bit. I pulled out some stamps that I thought would go well with the cardstock. Let's see here. Let's put a little bit of book page, I think, behind. I think we'll put a little, let me rip off a little bit of that end. And I don't care. I put my text or my book pages all different ways. I just use them the direction that it works. I don't care if it's upside down or backwards or left to right. Let me just, the one thing I do is I like to make sure that I don't have any kind of weird writing on there. So let's ink that up. You know that will go to the left. And I think I'm using this journal to keep track of goals for my Etsy shop, but I really think a journal like this has lots of uses. I could see it being used for personal things too, maybe keeping track of, exercise goals. I could see me using this for walking goals, and I don't know. You could gear it towards being a prayer journal. I don't know, lots of uses. What would you use this for? I'd love to know. Okay, there we have. We are going to include our mushroom. And I pulled out, I think that maybe green is a little bit too close. I seem to have a lot of Canada ones. That one's not bad. I kind of like this sort of pinky toned one here. Maybe we'll even kind of work it in that way. Yeah, I think I like that one. Let's see, what else do I have? I just have some kind of book pages with some script. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down this because for sure we know that works. So let's get that glued down, and then we'll start to layer on top of it. And I don't think we're going to put anything else behind. I think what we'll do, we'll go ahead and we'll glue down the label, and I think everything else will just go in front. I'm just going to make a decision to do that. Oops, I almost put it upside down. That would not have been good. How would I have fixed it? I would have had to have ripped it off very quickly or redone the whole pocket. That would have been a disaster. Okay, so we have our little label. I know I want to include some textile. Let's see which ones I pulled out here. I have a little bit of white. I have some lace. I also pulled out a little bit of this kind of batik. Not sure if I like that. Oh, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. What else do I have here? I have some map. I love my map. Let's see, if we want to include that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Okay, I think I'm going to ink this up. I also like that the colors of the map page sort of tie back into my cardstock here. I think we'll stick that one down. Good right about there. Let's see, are we liking that? I think we're liking that. Let's ink up our mushroom. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below how you could see a journal like this working well for you. Make this up. And I also love the compact size. I think it would be great to stick in a bag. You can travel with it. It doesn't take up a lot of room. That's the other nice thing about it. Okay, we're kind of liking that. This might be a little bit too much. I think that's a little bit too much. What else do we have? We have some of this cheesecloth, which I love. I think it gives a lot of texture and dimension. I use this a lot. Cut off a little bit more. I got a little bit too much going on there. Clear the decks here a little bit. All right, I think I kind of like that. I think, let me just look and see what it is like up here. If we put this up here, let's just look at this really quick before we, no, I think I like it below. Everything is sticking to my fingers. I think we will glue that there. Speaking of travel, I'm not 100% sure when this video will post, but my daughter and I will be doing a little bit of traveling. here in the next couple weeks, and I might even post this while we are on the road so that I can keep content up for all of you. Okay, I like that. Let's see what we look like here with the cheesecloth. And would we want that fabric in front of it or behind it? Let's look at what it looks like with this little batik. I love this batik fabric. I forgot I had it and I discovered it. Oh, I like that. I like that behind. Okay, so let's stick that down. Let's try to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac for that. Let me see if I can get it to come down here. And if you need to know how to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, Leanne of Crafty Kitty Vintage and I did a Little Golden Book junk journal series, and Leanne showed all of us how to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It is so easy, so simple, so easy, and it is works for multiple signatures or a little single signature like this one. Take a little bit of that glue there off the top. It's coming out a little bit gloppy. There we go. Everything's just sticking. Maybe my finger, look at that. Like glue strings. Maybe my fingers are sticky in some way. I have been crafting this morning. Was working on some other projects. So I probably have all kinds of stuff on my fingers. Okay, so there we have that. Goodness gracious. Stuck that down. And we will just kind of tack this cheesecloth down. We will use our glitter behind the mushroom, but that just sort of helps to tack it down a little bit. Very cute. The mushroom's a little bit aligned with that stamp. I think I'm gonna stick a little bit. I said I wasn't going to make it too busy, but just because those are a little bit aligned, I think I'll stick a little bit of this handwritten paper down below just to offset that a little bit. Put that there. I think that helps. Yep, I like that. Reason being, the mushroom was sort of right on top of the postage stamp, so I think adding that little bit of paper kind of makes it not so symmetrical, if that makes sense. Makes sense to kind of my eye and placement. I think it is more interesting, especially in collage, to have things that aren't so symmetrical and matchy-matchy. There we go. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this. I like that hanging though. I like that loose. So cute. And I don't even mind that the December is a little bit wonky there. Okay, let's clear all these things out of the way. And then the last thing, I love this little splatter stamp. So let's come in and add a few splatters here. Yeah, I like that. Maybe we'll even add a little splatter in there to kind of take away the fact that it's a little bit wonky. That's nice. I think that's good. I think we'll stop there. And the colors I use, so obviously I did greens and blues and sort of those earthy tones. I also came in and highlighted with Vintage Photo on the cover, all the pages. And then this is my favorite. I love a good kind of turquoisey green. And I love using this evergreen bough. This is a really great color, so it sort of gets that kind of brownish green patina that copper gets. Hopefully you can see that. And again, I use the splatter stamp, so I kept tying back in. So cute. I think our page turned out really great. Ties in with the other pages nicely. There's our bow on the inside. Very fun. Very, very fun. And that's it. That is our little journal. So let me know what you would use a journal like this for. Hopefully I've inspired you to create something similar. And if you do, I have a hashtag on Instagram that I use all the time, and I'm always encouraging friends to use it. If you do make one of these journals, or you're inspired to do so, and you post to Instagram, use the hashtag vintage craft and chat, and I will type it here on the screen as well. And yeah, let's keep the creativity and the inspiration going. I thank you for watching today, and if you would consider subscribing, thumbs up, and definitely leave a comment. I love comments. Thank you and goodbye.